So this ISC is a space odyssey. That's the name of it. So we know what this is going to be all about. I guess IAE still was during this week. So technically, we're still in ship sail mode for CIG. So here we go.
This is the first MISC ship in about 5 years. In my mind, it'll be pushing into the further expanses of the universe, going as far as you can go, and seeing what's out there.
The type of player this ship should appeal to is those players who just like traditionally non-combat experiences. The Odyssey is sort of designed for a more generic role in terms of they want to go off into the wild blue yonder and just explore. Being MISC, obviously they work closely with Jian and incorporate tech, so that primarily on the art side gave a lot of flexibility, but on the design side allowed us to justify some of the more interesting features of the ship.
In terms of the ship from front to back, there's a lot more of that cool levitation tech. Got that classic sort of wide cockpit that we see on MISC ships like the Freelancer.
And everyone
underneath, you know, we've got like a prospector type bubble. We house two crew. One person does the tractor beaming, one person does the mining. We've got two unmanned turrets for a little bit of self-defense. There's one at the back and the underneath too.
And then the pilot has a variety of missiles to use.
On the interior, we've split it over 3 levels in total. Top deck is mainly some engineering space and refinery.
So you can mine quantanium and refine it for the ship itself. So that essentially gives you the ability to just generate your own quantum and hydrogen fuel.
Obviously, Star Citizen is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, we're
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people argue with me that this thing should only be able to mine quantanium and refine quantanium. And I think that they referenced what he just said there as, see, Mike, that's all it can do. There is nothing about refining and there is nothing about mining that says this mining laser can only do this. Can only mine these rocks. They're all the same rocks. It's all the same attributes. There's nothing that said that. We have to wait for the Q&A to publish. So far, they haven't said anything. I don't believe it yet, because mining equals everything. So we'll have to see.
Introducing more systems. Fuel is going to become a major issue, right? And so this is perfect for that kind of scenario. The middle deck is the sort of probably the most dominant of the 3.
You have a bridge at the front of the ship, and it's quite a nice bridge on the Odyssey because you have this huge bank of stations for all the crew to sit there all in one place. Every crew member has...
How does it make you guys feel when you see the white box of this stuff, when your other ships you may not have seen? You know? That must drive people mad, but I think these are just like, they do these, get a visual sense, and then they kind of leave the ship for a couple years, is what I've noticed at least.
Their own room with ensuite facilities on board.
Central mess. Is that a Vanguard?
And then the lower deck leads us to the hangar, which is basically what the whole ship is formed around, essentially. So that really did dictate the dimensions and the proportions of the ship.
It's a generic hangar. It's designed to our environmental hangar metrics, so there's a huge
That's really
range.
cool, though. Did you see? I don't think that there's a ship that can fit in the back hangar that you can fit a vehicle in, but you could drive a vehicle into the vehicle hangar, open up the doors, and drive it into the vehicle in the back.
Of ships that can fit in there. You could bring a fighter ship if you want more defense. You could bring a prospector if you want to do even more mining. The hangar on there is a huge volume and helps support any choice you want to make with ships. There's a little medical bay in there for any accidents that happen along the way.
Just the refinery?
We have this one room which is kind of really in there just as like the rule of cool. You can just sort of sit there and just see space, you know, as you're zooming along.
That's all it's there for? This is the room that does the mining and tractor beaming, I thought.
The natural competitor to the Odyssey is the Carrot.
In my mind, it's a carrot killer. Why?
Bro. I'm starting to think the lead artist gets like bonuses based off of how much a ship is sold. Of course it's a carrot killer, right? The entire Star Citizen community in my comments got, oh, it's not better than the carrot. The carrot can do this and the carrot can do that. Meanwhile, CIG, it's the carrot killer.
What you can do with it is pretty impressive. It's kind of the multi-tool.
He's kidding. It's just stupid
the
British humor.
spaceship
I
world.
hope, man.
It just gives you almost ultimate flexibility
sounded like
on
he was
how
kidding.
you want to play. The Myst Odyssey is the ultimate exploration ship.
It's the ultimate exploration ship as well. I swear these guys get bonuses.
The Myst Odyssey is the first offering from the storied manufacturer in quite some time, and they seem intent on bursting back into the scene with a massive impact that is sure to make Carrack owners look twice. And while that wraps up our multi-week coverage of the new ships and vehicles of this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, let's go ahead and take a look into the future with a special vehicle-themed sprint report. To get things started, members of the EU Vehicle Content Team have returned their attentions to the Hull A and Hull C as they continue refining the work previously done in order to bring it up to current standards and, perhaps most importantly, metrics. Now, if you've been following the project for some time, you'll know we learn with each and every ship we make, and it's essential to take those lessons forward so they can inform each and every ship yet to come. Now, while the Hull A continues its journey through final art exterior and gray box interior, what you can see here with the Hull C are the results of not just some recent lighting passes, but an effort to update the interior scales of certain areas for improved player and NPC comfort alike, addressing those metric issues and experimenting with some early attempts at new building block screens for tractor beams and the like. And speaking of tractor beams, and the like.
I like it. I like the weird looking, you know, the very spacey screen.
And speaking of tractor beams, the Vehicle Content Team has begun building the size 1, 2, and 3 tractor beams that can be equipped to a variety of vehicles, bringing with it some long-awaited functionality to ships like the 300 seen here, the Caterpillar, and more. Minor updates are also underway to the Starfarer as it gets ready to make its debut not just as the first refueling ship in Star Citizen, but the first refining vehicle as well, as new additions to the exterior walkway will allow it to take canisters of newly mined fuel from other spaceships for processing. And yes, we want to update the interior just as much as you do. We're looking at where we can slip that into the schedule now, so hang tight.
Good. That would be a really good thing, but this is interesting. So it's going to require the cargo rework, right? But when the cargo rework is done, you take the bags off of the prospector and everything and pile it right on there. That's actually cool. And it's right outside. And there's your refinery ship.
Interior just as much as you do. we're looking at where we can slip that into the schedule now, so hang tight. Up next,
318 is...
let's move along to the Vulture, the entry-level salvage ship from Drake,
June?
which has moved into final art phase with a look at the habitation area, as well as the cockpit.
Oh, that's looking good too.
And for ships just beginning their journey, we can announce that the Scorpius fighter from RSI has begun its journey through white box phase, where the team works to ensure all current metrics are met and that all the component spaces work as we'd like them to. It's so far, so good.
This thing
with
is like
no
47
surprises,
guns, right?
Which itself is kind of always a surprise. And finally, before we let you go, we showcased the updated concepts for the Banu Merchantman at this year's CitizenCon. And now I'm pleased to report that in our final IAE 2951 vehicle episode, that the Merchunk Man itself has begun its journey and moved from concept phase into white box with this highly anticipated first image. Hey, everything starts somewhere. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. And you're gonna get to follow along with it from the very beginning of its journey from this point forward.
Mimi?
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Misk wasn't content to just let Anvil sit alone at the top of the
They look like
exploration
Minecraft.
pyramid with the recently revealed Odyssey.
It's crazy
That
if
there
that's
are
where
a
ships
variety
start.
of new ships and ship updates that will make their way to the persistent universe between this year's IAE and the next. And that sometimes I'm just going to hide stuff in the outro to reward folks who watch until the very end. Something like a bunch more Banu Merchantman updates, maybe.
Okay, he was maybe. All right. But that is
Looking good.
interesting if that's where it starts.
Nice.
That's going to be
That's a
crazy
turret,
ship,
not
man.
an ED-209.
All the smoothness of the ship, like it's totally different than
Ooh,
anything
it's
else.
NVIDIA.
What even is that? What is the point of that? What is that guy doing at that screen?
Yes, sometimes I'm a jerk, but I'm your jerk. Now, don't forget that our big IAE All Ships Q&A airs tomorrow on Star Citizen Live on Twitch, and it's your chance to ask about the
It's to
Spartan,
fuck women?
the Raft, the Odyssey, and all the latest
I don't
vehicles
think
from
that's
this
what
year's
it's for, man.
IAE, and then we'll be right back here next week with a look at the exciting future of Gravlev and revamped Jumptown 2, both coming in Alpha 316. For Inside Star Citizen,
Okay, so
I'm
next
Jared
week
Huckabee.
is Gravlev and Jumptown 2. So that is something I am definitely looking forward to seeing, talking about, and all of that.
See you
So
all next week.
keep it going? Okay. Yeah, I looked. I mean, there was 30 seconds.
And now, for people who stick around until the very end, I got this. It's not coming soon, though.
Okay. Well, that was the thing, I guess. So, thanks for watching ISC with me, guys.